You're listening to 90.7 WCLH Wilkes University Radio, and that was Night Ranger from their latest release, Don't Let Up, with its title track. And on the phone with me right now, I have bassist, vocalist of Night Ranger, Jack Blades. How are you, Jack?
Well, I'm doing great. We're coming to your neck of the woods, so all those people at the university that didn't go home for the holidays, come on to the Night Ranger show. We're going to have some fun.
Definitely. And I am actually a commuter, so I won't be going home, and I'll definitely be heading to that show.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Night Ranger. I mean, we've played in your neck of the woods a lot. I mean, over the years, we started out. I mean, we're celebrating our 35th anniversary this year of the release of our first album, Dawn Patrol. And man, I mean, we have been in your neck of the woods many, many times. So we're looking forward to coming out.
Yes, and I definitely look forward to it. It'll be my first time seeing Night Ranger as well. So I hope to have a good time, and I'm sure I will.
I don't know why you waited so long. We've been around for a long time.
I know I waited, but I'm only 22, and I meant to see you guys a couple, maybe 1 or 2 years ago by now, but I had to be 21 to go see the show. So now that we're past that, I could head out to those shows.
Yeah, and you know what, Kendall? Night Ranger, it always sounds better when you drink. So I'm glad that you're 22. I'm glad you can have a few shots of tequila before you see it. So that'll work out really well.
Okay, I'll definitely have to take that advice and go take some right before the show. Maybe it'll help out. But I'm sure, even sober, it'll be a great show.
Absolutely. Okay.
So I'm assuming you're out in California right now, where you live.
Well, no, actually, I'm out at Seattle right now, and I'll be celebrating the Thanksgiving a day early because I'm going to be flying all day Thanksgiving Day to get to you guys. So I think actually the whole band Night Ranger, I think we're all going to be out somewhere in Wilkes-Barre celebrating Thanksgiving. We're going to have to find a good restaurant to hang out in.
Well, offhand, I can't really think of anywhere to tell you to go because I usually eat here in the cafeteria at Wilkes University, and like you said, will be closed. But it's great to hear that you guys spend a holiday like Thanksgiving together. How often does that actually happen, where you guys spend a holiday like Thanksgiving together as a band?
Well, it's when you're on tour and stuff like that, it's like that's kind of what has to happen. I mean, when you're playing and that sort of thing. So it's been many, many years that I've missed holidays with family and stuff like that, but I've been with my Night Ranger family. I mean, we've been together for so many years now that it's like family anyway. So it's not so bad, It works out, and I'm going to celebrate the day before. We're going to celebrate on Wednesday here at my house, and then we're gonna roll out to you guys, and man, we're looking forward to playing out there it's us and Loverboy. It's going to be a wild time. I mean, we're just we've played almost 100 shows this year, and we're flying on all 8 cylinders. We just got back from Japan. We just got back from an island. We played a big show down in the Dominican Republic, and we just got back 2 days ago from that. And so it's going to be, we're going to blast it out for you guys there in Wilkes-Barre.
Definitely, I look forward to it. And as you mentioned, Loverboy will be opening up for you. And
yep, it's going to be a great show.
I understand that you guys have some history together with Loverboy.
We've played with those guys over the years, and we've known the guys for years and years and years. At this stage of the game, when you've been around for as long as we have, 35 years we've been on tour and making records and playing and performing live. And, when it's that kind of situation, it's like all the survivors know each other. All of us have been around and have been doing it that are still playing. It's fun because, last week we played a show with Sammy Hagar, and it was, Sam was one of the first guys to put us out on tour with him back in 1983 when we first started out. And so it's really enjoyable, and seeing Mike Anthony from Van Halen and just, all that kind of stuff, it makes it fun. So when we're out here with Loverboy, it's like, we'll jump up on stage with them, they'll jump up on stage with us. It's all, everybody's having a good time.
And from my perspective, it seems as if, a Night Ranger, you guys can play with Loverboy, and coming from, like myself, I consider myself a metalhead. You guys could also be on a bill with a lot of heavier acts. If you had to pick a show, a tour, that you've played with, who would you say is the heaviest bands you've played with?
I would say Motorhead. I
Cool.
don't think you can get much heavier than Lemmy. You know, God rest his soul. And you know, we did some shows with Motorhead. We played some shows when we first back in 1983 and '84 with Black Sabbath. You know, when Ian Gillan was singing with Sabbath, and so I mean, you know, Night Ranger, like you said, we'll play with, we can play with some heavy bands, and you know, we kind of do all kinds of stuff.
Well, they promote it at the Kirby Center as an 80s night for your show with Loverboy and Night Ranger. But I wonder, will you guys be bringing any new songs, like, say, from your latest release, Don't Let Up?
Yeah, we're going to be playing some new songs, and we're going to be playing some songs from my time when I was in the Damn Yankees with Tommy Shaw and Ted Nugent, and we'll probably throw in some Damn Yankees songs. And with Night Ranger, I mean, we'll even throw in some songs of bands that we grew up listening to. I mean, Brad played with Ozzy. I mean, we've done shows with Ozzy. I mean, so I mean, who knows? We'll throw in all kinds of stuff. Kerry, our other guitarist, played with Alice Cooper for 10 years. I mean, there's so many songs that we could, that who knows what we'll play. I mean, we'll just throw in whatever we feel like throwing in, as with Night Ranger, and that's the great thing about Night Ranger.
I look forward to hearing all those different components being thrown in for Night Ranger once again at the Kirby Center this Friday, November 24th, right down the street from the Karen Villas Media Center where we're broadcasting live. And with me on the phone, Jack Blades, once again, vocalist and bassist of Night Ranger. So, Jack, you were just kind of describing there Brad Gillis, Kerry Kelly, all the great things they've done on guitar. Speaking of your latest release, Don't Let Up, bringing us into this interview, we heard the title track. And to me, that just signifies the greatness in the duo guitar that Night Ranger has always had. Obviously, it started with Brad Gillis and Jeff Watson, now with Kerry Kelly. But turning it over to what you and Kelly Keagy do on vocals, obviously they have their duo guitar sound, which makes Night Ranger, in my opinion. Would you say that when you guys harmonize in vocals, you and Kelly, that it's kind of a similar method that you go through, like, say, a guitar player harmonizing with another guitar player?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, that's kind of what Night Ranger's always been about. We've had two lead singers and two, always two great lead guitar players, and I mean, we just figure out, Kelly and I just, when we write a song, it's like, hey, man, this sounds like you should sing it, and hey, this one sounds like you should sing. It's kind of like it just evolves the way it evolves, and with two singers, I mean, I've been fortunate in everything I've done. It's like, Kelly and me as lead singers, and then when I was in the Damn Yankees with Tommy Shaw and myself, the two lead singers, there's been two singers with me forever, and I love it. You know what I mean? I think it's great. I think it's great because you can just, between the two of you, you can do any style that you want to do, and kind of go anywhere you want to go with music and all that kind of stuff. And Night Ranger really started out that way. And if you think about it, it's like we started out sort of like, we were big fans of the Beatles with, two singers, Lennon and McCartney, and that's kind of how we've always based ourselves. But then the band, when we really formed the band, we were all, we were Thin Lizzy fans. Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy.
Mm-hmm.
We were big Lizzy fans. And if you think about it, he's like got a bass player that sings and two lead guitars to harmonize guitars and stuff like that. And kind of what we based our, when we first formed the band, because back in 1980 when the band was, we were first formed, and, Thin Lizzy was just so great, so big right then and everything like that. And that's kind of how the band, sort of how Night Ranger came about. And then we, of course, developed it into what we are, which is our sound, which is the Night Ranger sound, and pretty much kind of held true to that all these 35 years.
And I know you mentioned, your influences like the Beatles and Thin Lizzy, and me being primarily a fan of the bands like Night Ranger and all the ones coming out of that great generation. They have gotten me into those bands that you mentioned, like the Beatles, because of all the wonderful things you guys say about them and how they've inspired your music. And going on about your vocal stylings, you working with Kelly Keagy, as you mentioned, you guys do the harmonizing that makes you guys you. I actually spoke to Kelly a couple weeks ago, also in promotion for the show at the Kirby Center, and he mentioned that these aren't his exact words, that you kind of maybe stepped out of your comfort zone for the ballad, which is Nothing Left of Yesterday off of Don't Let Up. So from your perspective, how was taking on a song like that?
Well, when I came up with the idea of the song, it's like that. All three of us were in the in the room. We were kind of like jamming out that song, and it was something that we'd sort of never done. Where I'd sing like a sort of a slow, like a ballady verse, and then we just slammed it on the chorus. Hey, you're gonna live, to love, I mean, just like screaming it out, and that was really fun. It was something we'd never done. I mean, another song that would be Truth, which is one of our, the band's favorite, which we might even throw that into the show, when we see you guys this week. And the Truth is always, and that was a kind of a cool ballady type thing too. So, you just try out different things. And with the Don't Let Up album, we did that. We jammed all the songs out and created them, and like we did old school style, all in a room, jamming them out and stuff like that. And they ended up being really proud of that record.
Definitely listening to it track by track, a variety of different styles in that, and I definitely enjoyed Don't Let Up. So once again on the phone with me on 90.7 WCLH in Wilkes-Barre, it's Jack Blades of Night Ranger. And as I mentioned, Jack, I spoke to Kelly a couple weeks ago, and I told him that on Mondays here at WCLH, I play an album in its entirety, and I kind of wanted his idea of what album I should play, maybe a Night Ranger one that didn't get its due or was kind of overlooked, and the one we kind of went with is 2011 Somewhere in California. So can I get your insight on that album now that it's been a little over 5 years in preparation for me to play it in its entirety tonight?
Well, yeah, we when we did that record, that was the first of the last 3 albums that we've done. We did that one, we did Somewhere in California, then we did The High Road, and now the new one, Don't Let Up. And it kind of, we went back to our roots of like, let's just go into a room, Brad and Kelly and I, and just start jamming on songs. And let's see what comes up. And immediately we just start playing ideas and throwing ideas around and just jamming like we did when we were, kids in a garage, you know what I mean? And so we jam, and then once we oh, that's kind of cool, and I start singing some chorus or something like that for it, and then we just decided, let's record it right away. So we just recorded it right away. And that's how we've done the last 3 albums, starting with Somewhere in California, with the song, like, I think we let off with like Grown Up in California, and just on and on and on, and just kind of, it's been really fun, the last 3 albums, making the last 3 albums, The High Road, and then the new one, Don't Let Up, because we kind of just adhered to the old school way of just getting in a room and jamming, and then just whatever came out of it is what we, recorded. On the new album, Don't Let Up, a lot of the vocals and everything like that are like actually, and some of the parts are actually from the demos. We just like, leave it. I can't top that. It sounds great. Like, like Nothing Left of Yesterday. I mean, some of those, I think the verses, the first verse and also the choruses were like what I sang on the demo. We just left it because it's like, dude, that's fine. Let's just do it. So I mean, the Somewhere in California album, there's a lot of good playing on that record. I think people are going to really enjoy it when you play it.
Thanks, and I'll definitely enjoy it, and it's good to hear you guys. You stuck with the basics sometimes. I guess that's the best way to do. Like the first track, the first take is the one that comes from the heart, maybe, I guess.
So there you go. And why mess with it? You know what I mean? Like, get it out there, throw it down, and like, that happened a lot on the Don't Let Up album. And a lot of those vocals that I sang the first, when I sang it on the demo, it's like, dude, just leave it. I mean, I'm not going to even touch it. Sounds bad. I couldn't, it's like you try to beat it, and it's like, I don't even want to try to beat it because I can't. Because that was the emotion that I gave when we wrote the song, and I just love that feeling. And so we left a lot of that, and I think it comes across all the record.
Before we leave, I'd like to remind all the listeners out there once again about Night Ranger and Loverboy. Come into the Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, November 24th. I'm sure it'll be a great show, and I look forward to it. And Jack, I'd like to, I was telling Kelly as well, but I'd like to remind you that WCLH is right down the street here. So if you want to just walk down like 2 blocks from the Kirby Center, we're blasting music. It won't be Metal Monday, so there might not be Night Ranger playing. But we always have some good underground music playing, and if you're around the area, you might see our location.
All right, you got it. If I get a chance, you bet I'll come in and we'll come in and photobomb you, photobomb the studio.
Sounds good. We're looking right at South Main Street in Wilkes-Barre. So before we end this interview, Jack, first I'd like to thank you very much for being part of the show and Metal Mondays on WCLH. Is there a certain song, I know you mentioned Truth was one of your favorites, but you could pick any off your latest release, Don't Let Up, to take us out?
Let's play Somehow, Some Way.
Somehow, Some Way.
Yeah, first song on the record, and I think people will definitely get the Night Ranger vibe from that, enjoy themselves with it. So let's go out with Somehow, Some Way. How about that?
Okay, and any last words for the people of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, in maybe regards to the show this Friday, or just anything in general?
Yeah, well, we want to see everybody out there rocking and rolling, have fun. With Night Ranger, man, you can't help but having a good time. So we want to see everybody from Wilkes-Barre out there rocking and rolling with us it's this Friday night. Come on!
Thanks again, Jack. Once again, everyone, Jack Blades, thanks for being a part of the show. Up next, we have the first track off of Night Ranger's latest release, Don't Let Up. It is Somehow, Some Way, so keep it locked right here on 90.7 WCLH in Wilkes-Barre.